Most people think of pharaohs as men, warriors, builders, god kings who wore crowns and led empires from golden thrones. But what if I told you that one of the greatest pharaohs, one who built more monuments than almost any before her, was a woman, not a queen, a pharaoh, a king. She wore a royal beard. She ruled as the son of Ra. She was worshipped as divine, and she changed the very meaning of power in ancient Egypt. Her name was Hatshepsut, and for over 20 years, she ruled the most powerful nation on earth. This is not a fairy tale. This is Africa's true legacy, and the story they tried to erase. Hatshepsut was born around 1507 BCE into the royal house of the 18th dynasty, the most powerful era in Egypt's long history. Her father was Thutmose I, a brilliant military pharaoh who expanded Egypt's empire deep into Nubia and Syria. Her mother, Ahmose, was a queen of full royal blood, giving Hatshepsut a legitimacy that few royal women could claim. From birth, she was surrounded by wealth, war, politics, and ritual. But women, no matter how noble, were not expected to lead. They could be great wives, high priestesses, or regents, but never pharaoh. That was for men, for warriors, for gods made flesh. Still, destiny had other plans. Hatshepsut married her half-brother, Thutmose II. As was tradition, he became pharaoh. She became queen. But Thutmose II was weak, sickly, indecisive. It was Hatshepsut who truly governed, whispering into his ear, managing court affairs, securing alliances. And when he died young, a crisis erupted. His only heir, Thutmose III, was a child, born to a lesser wife, too young to rule. Egypt needed stability. Egypt needed strength. Egypt needed a pharaoh. So Hatshepsut did something no woman before her had dared. She took the throne, not as a regent, but as a pharaoh in her own right. She wore the crown. She changed her name. She was no longer great wife of the king. She became the king. To rule as pharaoh, Hatshepsut knew she had to play the part. In Egyptian art and inscriptions, she gradually transformed her image. From a woman in flowing dresses to a muscular man in royal kilt, wearing the false beard of pharaohs and declaring herself son of Amun. But this wasn't a deception. It was a strategy. Egyptians didn't worship humans. They worshiped divine kingship, regardless of gender. So Hatshepsut made herself divine. She claimed that the god Amun had visited her mother in the form of her father, impregnated her, and chosen Hatshepsut to rule from birth. In her temple at Deir el-Bahri, she carved this story into stone for all eternity, and the people believed. Under Hatshepsut, Egypt thrived. Unlike her war-hungry ancestors, she chose peace over conquest. But that didn't mean weakness. She launched one of the most ambitious trading expeditions in history to the mysterious land of Punt, possibly modern-day Somalia or Eritrea. Egyptian ships returned with myrrh gold, ebony exotic animals, incense trees, which she planted in temple gardens. It was a celebration of wealth, diplomacy, and divine favor. And she didn't stop there. She launched massive construction projects across Egypt: temples, obelisks, chapels, shrines, road statues. Her masterpiece was the Temple of Deir el-Bahri, carved into the cliffs of Luxor, a structure that still stands today as a symbol of elegance and eternity. She left behind over 100 monuments, more than any pharaoh before her. While Europe was still in caves, she built empires of stone, but not everyone celebrated her reign. Thutmose III, the boy she once protected, grew into a man, a soldier, a king in waiting, and he waited and waited for 2 decades. As long as Hatshepsut lived, he could not rule in full power. There is no record of open conflict between them, no wars, no coups. But the tension was there, and when Hatshepsut died, around 1458 BCE, he finally seized full control. Then the erasure began. After her death, someone, likely Thutmose III, ordered that Hatshepsut's name be chiseled out of monuments. Her images were smashed. Her statues are buried. Her story was rewritten. It wasn't just revenge, it was politics. In Egypt, memory was immortality. To erase a name was to erase a soul. They tried to make it seem like she had never ruled, like her temples, her deeds, her life had all belonged to Thutmose III. For centuries, it worked. Hatshepsut faded from memory until the 19th century when archaeologists unearthed Deir el-Bahri and found inscriptions that told a different story. A woman, a king, a pharaoh, one who had ruled with brilliance, not blood. Today we know Hatshepsut not as an imposter, but as one of Egypt's most effective rulers. Historians now call her reign a golden age. She brought wealth, peace, stability, and innovation. She showed that leadership is not about gender. It's about vision, wisdom, and courage. Her temples still stand. Her statues rise again in museums. Her name, once buried, is now spoken around the world. Not as a whisper, but as a roar. Hatshepsut's story is bigger than Egypt. It's a story of African brilliance, of a woman defying a system designed to erase her, of power that didn't need war to be strong. It reminds us that African women were not just victims or background figures. They were builders of nations, keepers of wisdom, architects of legacy. And if we let them fade from history, we lose not just the truth, we lose ourselves. She was born a daughter. She ruled as a king. She died as a god. And though they tried to bury her, they forgot one thing. You can't kill a name written in stone. This is Echoes of Africa. This is Hatshepsut, not a queen, a pharaoh, not forgotten, reborn.